normal years. That's what the word usually is being used in these subjects. Normal years, okay? So for example, let's say if I were to exclude year 8, given on the grounds that it looks abnormal compared to the other previous years,
Uh-huh.
right? And couldn't be, you don't have a justification as to why they did what they did in year 8, okay? So let's, for example, what I would probably then prefer is, how about doing an average of year 6 and 7,
Okay.
okay, for projecting the numbers of year 9,
Okay. Let me
okay?
do it.
And then for probably for year 10 and 11, I would kind of calculate the percentage growth percentage, year on year growth percentage, and then apply it on year 9 to get the results of 10, and apply that projection growth rate on year 10 to get the numbers for 11. So this is one approach that I can think of.
Okay.
So this is not going to be a fairy tale approach. Okay, of course we will have to calculate the numbers that we want, and we will also compare those. So let's say, for example, if I were to do an average of year 6 and 7, let's say 252.5 plus 244.89 divided by 2. That's just a simple average.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Let
Then
me.
compare that. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and let's calculate and see how it goes.
okay.
And then compare that number, what we get, with the
250
industry average.
plus 244.89
Now
divided
this
by
divide by 2.
2. Okay. So that would be year 9. 248.70.
Okay. So 248.70. Now if I were to justify this, let's say 248.7, right? So see, now compare this 248.7 with year 7 and 8, 6 and 7, sorry. If we compare with 6 and 7, 248.7 is just exactly somewhere in the middle of
Right.
244. 244 being the lower range,
Uh-huh.
and 252 being the higher range. Okay. So we project that in the year 9, if everything goes, in a normal circumstance, avoiding the year 8 to look at, okay, we can, I'm basically pricing my own product. Really, for example, if you were to sell this camera, okay, you will be pricing it somewhere between 244 and 252. So that's what 248 comes from.
Okay.
That's
Right.
where,
Okay. I see
yeah,
what you're saying
does
there.
that make sense?
Yes, it
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
right. So basically, when I look at the numbers, there is a minimum and there is a maximum.
Right.
Okay. So minimum being 245, maximum being 252. I'm ignoring 334 because that's
Right.
completely, way ahead to 252.
Exactly.
Right. I'm gonna exclude that, saying that that was an abnormal abrupt year. Maybe
Right.
something had happened and they were able to sell it. That's fine, but I might not be able to be in consistency with that level of performance. That would be too, I would say, too optimistic if I consider year 8. And given the instructions that we have read, we are supposed to keep it minimalist kind of thing,
Right.
right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna price my thing the camera for year 9 somewhere between 244 and 252. I just did a simple average, and that gives me
Right. It makes a
248,
lot of
which is
sense.
very, which is very well placed between 244 and 252, right? It's not higher than 252, and
Okay.
it's not lower than 245, right? So
Right.
let's keep that for year 9. And let me know if you have any other view you want to add. You totally, if you don't disagree, we'll find something else to
No,
think of, and then,
that really makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
right.
Okay.
So same thing with the other things for
Right.
the
All of the
numbers
other
40.
ones. I know I can do all of the other ones the same way. Okay, now to
Yeah.
get year 10.
Yeah. Okay. So for year 10, okay, what I have in my mind is, now year 10 is a projection 2 years from now,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If just think in this way, if you were to project for year 10, and again we will continue to exclude year 8, right? I would still have to consider year 9 in my projection for year 10. This is one. So what I can do, or what I can think of, is, again, I do a average of 6, 7 and year 9 numbers for calculating the performance of year 10. This is one approach. I have
Okay.
another thing in mind which I want to tell you, but year 10 would be, again, if I were to do 248.7 plus 264, plus 244.89 plus 252.5. This is one way of doing it.
Okay.
Okay. One
252
approach, which will be simple average of year 6, 7 and
and
9. I'm
9.
going to add those three numbers
Okay.
and divide by 3 because I'm considering 3 years
Okay.
for year 10, right? So this is one method. Second thing which I'm thinking of is, why not you make use of industry average as well? Because it's year 10, which is 2 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, it's 2 years in the future. So why not I take an average of year 6, 7 and 8 industry average to
Okay.
get the numbers for year 10. So just let's look at it once, okay?
Okay.
Just calculate and see. So see, you have to
The industry average. Okay. Let's
the
see.
industry average. Let's do the industry average, and
Okay.
for that we will not exclude year 8.
264.
The reason I'm saying is because in future, okay, every company usually comes, grows. I mean, of course it grows, and it grows at the pace somewhere closer to the industry, right? Because so 275.
275, 60. Okay.
275.60.
Okay. Now let me try it the other way and let's see what happens. The 252.50 plus 244. 9 plus 3. You said use year 8 or 9? No, year
Yeah,
9.
do
You
use
said 9.
year 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Year 9.
248.
Based on the similar principles, that year 8 was out of line and we are completely ignoring year 8's performance.
Okay, that's 248. 240.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Okay. So I would not want to prefer this method because it is so year 10 and year 9 cannot have the same numbers. One. Okay.
I gotcha.
You need to show the growth. You need to incorporate the growth rate, okay? Because company I is definitely growing. That's what, and every company, when they make projections, they definitely have to be realistic, but at the same time, they need to show their investors, they need to show the larger stakeholders that they are growing. So definitely you cannot have the same numbers as year 9. You cannot be like, okay, so now in this regard, I prefer industry average is a better method.
Okay.
Because from 240 to
253.
275, something looks to be very achievable for this, right? 2 years in the future from now, right? Definitely looks to be more achievable.
Okay.
Something which is not superficial, it doesn't seem to be superficial for me, right? You were selling at 252, you kind of went down to 244, something happened and you were able to. Now year 8 is something which is really, really tricky for me because if you see the numbers, okay, 334 is higher than 308. So industry average is 308, which means every other person in the same industry was selling the camera at 308 when I or my company was able to sell it at 334.
Right.
Something seems to be so out. I mean, odd or whatever you want to call it as, right? I mean, it's like, there was this whole market there. Everyone was, with their own showrooms and shops, they were selling it at 308. And then how was this company able to sell it at 334? Maybe there was a new product launch, or maybe something had happened. It's I'm not just kind of giving it as a bad impact, or looking it in a very bad way
Okay.
or something, but something just, you have to wear a different lens to look at year 8's performance, the company's performance,
I gotcha.
right? So let's go with that industry method. So you see now from 248 to 275, I want you to calculate the difference between 275 and 248, exact difference, right? So 275.60 minus 248.70.
Okay. 275
0.6
minus 248.7.
248.7. Okay, the difference, now this is difference, divide this number by 248.7, which is year 9. I'll tell you what exactly I have in my head. Okay, times 100. Okay, this is the percentage of growth, right?
Okay.
So how much did you grow? What in your projections, what's your growth target? 10%.
10.82.
Okay.
Okay.
10.8%.
Okay.
Right.
Now this is let
now,
me write down so I can tell my other teammates what we did. We did 275, 60 minus 248, 70. Let me redo it so I'll know. 275,
0.60. I'm
minus.
calculating the growth between year 9 and 10. In the sense, how much did you grow, or what is your growth projection from year 9 to 10? So what you're trying to say that at year 10, I have grown 10.8% compared to the previous year, which is year 9.
Okay.
That's
And then
what
I
I'm trying
did
to
that. I
calculate here.
divided that by 248.
Yes, you always divide by the previous year when you calculate the difference. So difference between both the years and divide by the previous year's number times 100 is nothing, just to calculate, convert that into percentage.
Okay. Times 100.
Times 100 is just to convert the number into percentage. Yeah. So 10.81%. So I'm saying from year 9 to year 10, I'm growing at 10.81%. Now, when I'm following this approach of calculating the numbers for year 10, again, to repeat, how did we calculate the numbers of year 10? We did the industry average of year 6, 7, and 8.
Uh-huh.
Because that, okay, another reason that you must note down here for calculating the number projection for year 10, I'm using year 8 and I'm not wrong, because the industry average, okay, look at the numbers of industry average from 6, 7, and 8.
Okay.
6 was 253, 7 is 264, which is a little higher than
Uh-huh.
253, and 8 is 308. Can you see the upward trend in industry
Yes.
average
Yes.
in past years?
Yes.
Right? So there was nothing abnormal happening in the industry.
Okay.
Can I say that?
Yes.
With me?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. So for year 9, I excluded year 8 because my projection is based on my company's actuals of the past, in the sense, past 2 years, as in year 6 and 7, excluding year 8, because year 8 company's performance looks to be out of line. That's the reason I ignore year 8. And the reason I ignore year 8 is because I'm using the company actuals. Hence, I only did the average of year 6 and 7 of the company's performance to calculate the projection of year 9.
Okay.
I'm just just summarizing as to what we did
Okay.
and why we did what we did.
Yes, that makes sense.
Any point you want me to repeat so far? Any point you want
No,
to repeat so far?
no. Okay. We have the growth, which is 10 point.
Growth was for year 10. Growth
Okay.
was for year 10. And again, for year 11 as well, I have something in mind which we will do. But, okay, so year 9 is clear.
Yes, 9 is clear.
What are we doing? We are doing average of 6 and 7. Company's performance, not the industry average. Okay?
Right.
Average of company's performance for year 6 and 7, because year 8, the company has exceeded the industry itself in year 8 in its performance.
Okay.
Which definitely doesn't look to be sustainable in the long term.
Right.
Right? You're going to put it exactly in these words if you are trying to explain it to anyone. And I'm pretty sure they'll be able to get it, what we want to do, what we are doing. And
Okay.
it's justifiable, right? Because whatever we do, we have to justify. In projections, it's very much important to have a scientific method and justification as to what you're doing and why you are doing and how you're doing, of course. So
Okay.
how part is average of the past 6 and 7 company performance, excluding year 8, because in the company performance has exceeded the industry average, and that doesn't look to be sustainable for a long term uh, purview. Okay.
Okay.
Year 10, I am 2 years into the future when I am projecting for year 10. And hence, instead of using the actual performance of the company, I will try and match my projections based on the industry. Hence, I am using year 6 and 7 and 8, 3 years into the past,
Okay.
okay, of the industry performance to get my projection for year 10. The reason
Okay.
this time I'm using year 8 is because I am using industry average, which has an upward trend from 253 to 264 to 308,
Okay.
right? So this is year 10. When I am projecting for year 10 based on the industry average of the past 3 years, past three in the sense 6, 7, and 8, I am growing at a rate of 10.81%.
Correct.
I means company I, okay? So I'm growing at the rate of 10.81%. So that's how, and you see it's very, very much realistic when you are going from 9 to 10, and it's an upward trend. And
Okay.
it's not superficial. Something
Okay.
which is not even, you're still, year 10, if you see, it's still lower than your industry average of year 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always, in projections with industry average, when you do a comparison, you should always be floating and not just, start. You should be floating in the sense you should be, just below the surface of the water. So
Okay.
275 is just below the surface of 308.79.
Okay.
That,
Yes.
right? So it's not too low compared to the industry. It's not matching the industry average of year 8, which is the maximum highest number,
Okay.
okay, of the industry, right? And it is of course growing. So see, you when you compare with yourself, you should be growing. When you are comparing yourself with the industry, you should be on the top. That doesn't mean the first position.
Right.
That's how you should project.
Mm-hmm.
So when you compare, so for year 10, when you are comparing your year 10 projection with everything else, right? From 252 to 244 to 334, which is an abnormal year for you, but okay. And industry numbers of 253, 264, 308, and your projection of year 9, you
Okay.
are going in an upward trend. Can I say that?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is how you do the projection. So that's how for 9 and 10, you'll be able to do everything for everything else like this.
Yes. If I'll do it the exact same way. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So year 9, year 10 is sorted. Now, what do you think about year 10, year 11? What should you do?
Well, since it's flowing, I should be able to take year 9 and 10 and could not divide those to do year 11.
Okay. One problem here
Get
with
that.
me, which I can think of, is your projections of the future for
Okay.
whatever number of years you're doing usually cannot be based on your projections itself, which means year 9 and 10.
Okay.
Okay. Interestingly, one thing which you must notice here, for year 10, did I use the year 9 numbers?
Oh no. Wait a
Why
minute.
not?
Wait a minute. Yes, you did. You used the for year 10.
What did we do for year 10?
Year 10 we did the industry average.
For what many number of years?
6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, and 8.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So did I use the year 9
Oh
numbers
no, you
to
didn't.
arrive?
No, no.
I did not. And can you tell me why?
We didn't use 9.
For year 10, and tell me why. Think of something and tell me why.
Um, I don't know.
Okay, so my thought process here, why I did not use year 9 to calculate the performance, to calculate the projection for year 10 is very simple. Let's say, for example, I have a 2 stories house, okay,
Mm-hmm.
first floor and second floor, or ground floor and first floor, okay. I am planning to get 2 more floors on top of it,
Okay.
okay. So it's ground floor and first floor, and I'm projecting for second floor what would be the cost of making that second floor, okay. Now, for computing the cost of third floor, I cannot put it on second floor because it's still not yet. It's still under construction.
Right.
You cannot construct
When it's not
something
complete.
which is still under construction.
Right.
Yes. You cannot go to the next stage unless the previous stage is over. So it's simple as that. I mean, you cannot construct. I mean, if half of the bridge is done, you cannot do the rest of the road because unless you finish that off, you cannot project on projections.
Okay.
As simple as that. That's the reason I did not use year 9 anywhere to calculate year 10. Right? So now what do we do for year 11?
Well, since 9 and 10 is not yet complete and we are still working on it, we're just projecting, we wouldn't use those numbers either, correct?
Yeah. So again, there's another school of thought who would be using 9 and 10 as well. It would not be again completely incorrect because logically, I mean, end of the day, what you're doing is still projecting. Okay. But projections based on projections itself, is something which I do not find it to be a base because you are not there yet. So for year 9, you actually haven't sold the camera at 248 or
Right.
275.
Okay.
So how can you say what would you do in
For-
year 11 based on 9 and 10? Because for calculating the performance for year 11, you need to actually go through the year 9 and 10 and then see what you did versus what you projected and then project for year 11, right?
Okay.
See, projecting much further in future is difficult, right? I mean, just think of it in this way, right? Real life. You might have a plan for the next 1 or 2 years for your own self, right? What are you going to do? What you want to do, right?
Right.
In terms of everything.
Uh-huh.
But if I were to describe as to what I want to do after past 5 years down the lane, 10 years down the lane, I'm really not sure. I mean, I can't think of anything for my own self. Let's leave aside the topic of this company projections. It's very difficult.
Right.
So for year 11, what I have in mind, and I have to do the projections, right? You when you are working somewhere, when you're asked to do the projections, you are supposed to do the projections and give the good scientific basis for them to calculate, right? Something which everyone would agree to. Now, please do me a favor. Calculate the growth percentage of industry from 6 to 7 and 7 to 8.
Okay, now I can round this and put 10.82, correct?
Yeah, you can round this
Okay.
to 10.82%.
Okay.
Right. So one thing that you can very well do here is use that 10.82% over year 10. So again, as I said, it's not completely deniable that you used year 9 and 10 for your projections for year 11. There isn't anything which completely stops or bars us from using 9 and 10 for 11. Right?
Okay.
I can very well do that. You might find even people saying, oh, just do the average of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for 11.
Okay.
You might as well see people who choose to 6, 7, 8, and 9 for 10. It's as simple as that. Why not to do that? I would say, okay, not a problem. There isn't anything again that would say that you are wrong in approach, but it's like it doesn't seem like you have thought through or you have read through the numbers.
Okay.
Okay, to me that is not realistic. Again, when you are projecting, again, you cannot have those fairy tales. I mean, there was somewhere that was written in the instructions, right? So be as much as realistic when you're projecting. So using 9 and 10 for me, it's not realistic because they have not yet come. It's in the future. Again, 11 is of course 3 years from the future.
Okay. So I use the percentage. Is that what I'm doing? Using the percentage multiply it by year 10, and I get
Yes,
and then I add that to year 10.
absolutely correct.
Okay.
That is what
All
you
right,
should
I
be
got
doing.
you.
Yeah. This is approach 1. Okay. This is approach 1. This is a simple way. I mean, and a simple and of course a scientific method, and backed by the explanation that you are growing on year at the
Okay.
rate of 10%. Okay, so it's like you adopt a percentage growth percentage which is 10.82%.
2982.
Okay, and you say that in the future my projection is to grow at the rate of 10.82%.
Okay. And
Okay.
it's
Now see that,
305.
and it's very good. 3.0
Ah,
305.42 is very good if you look at year 8 industry average as well.
okay.
Okay, this is one method. Okay.
Okay.
Another method that I have is a bit complex, but again, it seems to be much thought through process that I would use. I will calculate the industry growth rate. Okay. The year 9 to 10, the 10.82% is your growth rate, company's growth rate.
Right.
Am I correct to say that?
Yes.
Right? When you calculated the 10.82%, that was between year 9 and 10 of your projections.
That's
I'm
correct.
using the projections,
Okay.
right? Now let me see what percentage is the industry growing at.
Okay.
So please do me a favor. 264.63 minus 253.37. That's the industry average between year 7 and 6.
Uh, 253.
0.37. Divide by 253.37 because we take the previous year.
Times 100.
Times 100. Yeah, times 100 to get the percentage. So 4.44. Wow,
Okay.
industry is growing at 4.44. Still not concluding this, but let's see now the difference between year 8 and 7. Sorry, we have to do these many calculations.
No. That's 8 and 7. Okay, 3.8.
Yes.
79 minus 264.63 divided by 264.63, right?
Yes, absolutely right. Divide by 264.63 times 100. Wow. Okay. Okay, you remember the previous percentage that we calculated? Can
It
you just
was
note that down?
4.44.
Yes, so 4.4. So industry grew from year 6 to 7 at the rate of 4.44%, and from 7 to 8, right?
Yes.
At the rate of 16.7%.
Uh-huh. That's a
This is
big difference.
incredible. Yeah. So I think, now if you see so in the past 3 years, industry grew from 4% to 16%, which is just 4 times exactly,
Okay.
right?
Right.
In terms of percentages, it will be 400 times. That's amazing. Okay. So I was thinking if the industry standards were consistent, right? Like let's say for example, the industry itself is growing at 9%, 10%, some numbers to be which are very closer.
Okay.
9, 10 or 10, 11 or something like that. I could have used that percentage because that's again seems to be a consistent percentage to grow. Growth is just not, just vertical. Okay. It grows, it has a slope, it has a curve. Okay. It has an upward slope, right? And that's when, that growth is seen and kind of trusted for your future as well.
Okay.
So from 4 to 16%, again, the variation itself is huge for me to use either of these two percentages.
Okay. Right.
Okay. So I'm okay. Although I thought had in mind, okay, we will use something around it if it had been consistent,
But it's
or
not.
at least
Yeah.
in tandem. It sounds to be okay. 4%, then 5%, or whatever. If it had been 15%, 16%, or even if it was 10 to 16. But
Right.
4 to 16.
That's a lot. That's a big
huge.
difference. Right.
It's huge. Okay. So I'm not sure as to what happened in that way. Because again, because another thing, I'm using year 8 in this. So wow, this was really wow. So instead, okay, again, so now you can use these calculations, but you can say I did the calculation, I did find out what rate the industry grew from year 6 to 7, which was 4.44%, and the industry grew from year 7 to 8 at the rate of 16.68%, right?
Right.
Which was quite huge. And since it was not a stable growth rate, I did not use it. In fact, the growth rate that you are using now, please imagine, okay, between 4.44 and 16.68, your growth rate that you used to calculate the year 11 number was 10.82.
Right.
See, again, you are in between these two.
Mm-hmm.
You are not lower than 4%, you are not higher than 16%.
Correct.
And you are consistent with your own performance of year 9 and 10 as well. Again, see your trend of 6, 7, 9, 10, 11.
Right.
You are going in an upward direction
Okay.
eventually. Okay. So I think I
Yeah,
believe you
that's a
should
good.
use these approaches,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
And use
I've
these calculations which we did.
yes, I will. I will use these. I'm gonna go plug them in a spreadsheet right now and pull those numbers
Sorry,
down.
you were saying something. I cut you off.
No, I
You
said
were saying
that that's great. I'm gonna put them on a spreadsheet and plug those numbers in, and then I'll put them on here. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and you were very helpful, and you explained everything very, very clearly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I feel glad to hear that. I hope you can ask me questions if you have any, or if there is anything you want me to repeat. But since you're noting it down now,
Yes, I am
yes, if
noting
you
it
have,
down.
so whatever calculations we did, even in terms of these percentages, 4.44 or
Mm-hmm.
16.68, use them in your evaluation. Use them, okay?
I will.
In your explanation, saying that I did this, and eventually I found out this is supposed to be, a more stable scientific method of doing it, because it's in between 4.44 and 16.68, and I'm using 10.82% for calculating my year 11, which is again doesn't seem to be superficial, because the industry is revolving between 4 and 16%. So
Okay,
yeah,
that sounds great.
so
And
just
yes,
articulated that yeah.
well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
So, you want me to wait while you note it down, or we can wind up?
Well, actually, I have it on my paper, and I have it on record, so I can go back and put it in my notes. So
Oh, okay, perfect. All right.
okay.
Okay, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Have a good,
Uh huh.
have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.